Hello, welcome to the Fenwick and Trinity High School's virtual college fair. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. And if your question is for a specific school, just name the school in your question. Your cameras and microphones are off. Panelists can't see or hear you, so just sit back and relax and enjoy all the great info. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to sign up for additional ones if you've not done so already. And this presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week at the website strivescan.com/FryerBlazers, which you can see on the screen here. I will share with you, we're in session A2. Those are the 6 schools that will be presenting and the order of their presentations. Now that I've gotten all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, I'll step out of the way, turn it over to our first presentation, the representative from the University of Cincinnati.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So exciting to see so many people joining us. So my name is Jen Sloan. I am from University of Cincinnati. I am actually a regional representative, which means that I'm based in the Chicagoland area to work with students from all over the state of Illinois, including Fenwick and Trinity. So University of Cincinnati is a large public research university in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're about a 5-hour drive from the Chicago area and about a 1-hour flight. So very, very easy to get back and forth. One of the things that I like to highlight about campus that I hope you can kind of gather from this photo is that even though we're a big school, we have just under 47,000 students in total and just under 27,000 undergrads on our main campus. Something you might be able to see from this photo is you actually can't drive through our main campus. So it's a little bit of a unique setup in that it's a very traditional on-campus experience, but in the middle of a very urban environment. And it's definitely something that a lot of our students really like about UC. Just to give you an idea of who we are, over 20% of our students come from out of state, over 15% would identify as multicultural, nearly 5% are international, and just over 20% are first-generation college students. I'm going to talk a little bit more about co-op in just a second, but on the left-hand side of the screen right there are our required and optional co-op programs. So just take a look at that so you have an idea of what I'm referencing. We have over 350 different majors and programs. So there's a lot to choose from at University of Cincinnati. We have 13 colleges, 9 undergraduate colleges, and I'll give you just a quick rundown so you have an idea. College of Nursing, College of Medicine, which does actually have 2 undergraduate programs, our College of Engineering and Applied Science, College of Education, Criminal Justice and Human Services, College Conservatory of Music, our Linder College of Business, our College of Allied Health Sciences, College of Design, Architecture, Art and Planning, and of course, our largest college, College of Arts and Sciences. Now, you may be wondering now, we're so large, what is that going to mean for my classroom experience? So you can see noted on the screen there the student to faculty ratio, but the number that I like to share that I think gives you a little bit better sense of what to expect in the classroom is that nearly 83% of our classes have 50 students or less, and only less than 4% have 100 students or more. So what does that mean for you? It means regardless of the major that you choose, it is possible that you could have a couple classes that are a little bit larger, but it also means the vast majority of the classes that you take throughout your time at UC are going to be much smaller and more manageable than what most students are expecting. And I will tell you a little bit more about Cincinnati itself, but last thing I want to tell you about the campus, it's very residential. Over 83% of our students live right on our main campus in 83% of our freshmen. We only require your on-campus freshman year in 16 different residence halls. We do have over 500 different student organizations for students to get involved in, and we are Division I for athletics. You will notice that we list 100% student participation in experiential learning. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. We are the birthplace of co-op education. A co-op at University of Cincinnati is a full-time paid working experience that is required for some of our programs and optional for others. Not everyone's going to participate in co-op, but it is a paid working experience that's an amazing opportunity that can be built into your time as a student. It's one of the ways that you can participate in experiential learning. Others include internships, clinical rotations, artistic performance, student teaching, you name it. Everyone that attends UC will have an opportunity to have a hands-on learning work experience before graduation. A few important things to know about the city of Cincinnati. The metro area is just over 2 million people. A lot of people don't realize that we have the largest number of Fortune 500 companies per capita of anywhere in the country. So a lot of opportunity to explore many job, internship, and co-op opportunities. We also have very easy access to Cincinnati public schools for our student teachers and do over several $100 million worth of research in a given year. We talked a little bit about enrollment already, and you can see some of our unique programs listed below. For our application process, we are a Common App school. That's the only way to apply to Cincinnati. It is a very holistic review. We're looking at all the pieces that are part of the application. We require an official high school transcript direct from your school, one letter of recommendation, and one letter of recommendation is more than enough, I promise. We are test optional this year and next year. This year, we required a test score from our nursing applicants, our early childhood education applicants, and anyone who wanted to be considered for our university honors program. Outside of that, everything was test optional. I'd say stay tuned in the next couple of months here. We'll share if that will continue to be true or if there are any programs added or subtracted from that. If when you fill out the application, you have an opportunity to tell us if you would like to be test optional, if your program is. If you say test optional, we don't need and will not use your test score in the review. And if you say you would like us to use your test score, then we would require that you send us a copy of the test score in order to complete your application. For the University of Cincinnati, an official test score has to come direct from the testing agency. And then you can see our tuition, room and board estimates, book and supply estimates here, and all of our scholarships. The great thing to know about the scholarships at University of Cincinnati, it's a very straightforward process. As long as you submit your full and complete application no later than December 1st of your senior year for our early action deadline, we will automatically consider you for scholarship. And if you applied test optional this year, that was no problem. We did not use test score in review for scholarship consideration. Any of the colleges that you see listed here are going to be important to meet that December 1 early action deadline because they can and some will close after that, but we do have the March 1 rolling deadline as well. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and please feel free to put any questions in the chat.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I will reiterate what you just said about using the Q&A for questions. You can do that at any time. For any of our presenters, if it's for a specific school, make sure to name the school in your question. Up next, let's hear from the representative from Xavier University.
Well, thanks, Ross, and hello to everyone. Let me start my timer so that I'm respectful of my friends. So we moved from the west side of Cincinnati to the east side of Cincinnati to Xavier University. We are one of the 27 Jesuit schools in the country. And so what that means for you is that you are going to get a very holistic experience on campus. You'll have a core curriculum that spans our entire, all of our four colleges, but you will also get some great experiential learning so that you are ready to take the world by storm, or as St. Ignatius would have said, go out and set the world on fire. If you know anything about Xavier, you know that our mascot is the Musketeer. And if you know anything about Musketeers, you know that their rallying cry was all for one and one for all. And that is the way we live the experience at Xavier. We are a medium-sized institution. So we're about 5,000 undergraduates and about 2,000 graduate students. So we're really geared towards undergraduate success, and we want you to feel part of our community. One big way that we do that is when you move into campus as a freshman, you're greeted by folks wearing these lovely neon yellow t-shirts. They're called the Move Crew. And the Move Crew are sophomores, juniors, seniors, people who have been through this experience, who have rolled up in the minivan with their parents, just like you're doing that day. And what they'll do for you is certainly give you a big, loud, rowdy welcome, but even better, they will reach into your car, take all of those boxes and bags you've packed for the last week or so, and schlep them up to your room. So that's the first way we say, very visibly, you are now part of the Xavier family, and we are here to help you be successful. Just a little bit about our students. It is an interesting makeup at Xavier because we are more out-of-state students than in-state students. So while you will definitely have friends from Cincinnati and Columbus and Cleveland, you're also going to have friends from Boston and from Atlanta and from Washington, D.C. and Seattle and San Diego and everywhere in between. Our average class size is 20 students, and I think that adds to the experience when you can look around that classroom of 20 and say, I know that some of these people have had very similar experiences to me, but I also know some of these people have had very different experiences from me. So while you're learning the classroom material from your professor, we don't have any graduate assistants or teaching assistants at Xavier, you are certainly learning from your fellow classmates as well. The other piece that I always like to highlight is the fact that, we have a lot of faith traditions represented, and certainly you guys go to Catholic schools now, but that is not a requirement. You don't have to be Catholic to be at Xavier. We have students of all faiths, and I think that too adds to the experience on campus. I'm going to go into our top 10 majors in a quick moment, but I do want to point out one of the facts on this slide that I think is really important. Our students have really unbelievable access to research. Again, because we are predominantly an undergraduate institution, our students are able to do medical research and psychological research and even business research starting as early as freshman year. We even have a whole center for undergraduate research that helps to fund student research, whether it's through fellowships or even travel expenses, so that you can go to conferences and present and get those great experiences. Because we know that's a huge part of preparing you to be successful when you graduate from Xavier. So here's some of our top majors. I'm not going to read all 10 of them, but I will give you just a few highlights. Our nursing program is a direct entry for your Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So you definitely have that opportunity to get into those nursing classrooms right away. Our biomedical sciences major is preparation for medical school. So last year, 92% of our students who applied to med school got in. If you're interested in that field, you know that the average is about 47%. So we're almost twice the national average. Awesome sport management program. Being in Cincinnati, Jen talked a little bit about the opportunities, but we've got 3 major sports teams, the Bengals, the Reds, and FC Cincinnati, but lots of other ways to participate there. And one of my favorite things about our finance program is that we have our own capital fund on campus. So every year our students get $3.5 million of Xavier money to invest in the real stock market. It's not a game, it's for real. And every year we still have that money to give it to the next crew. So definitely students are doing well with that. Again, I've talked about being successful, and just to kind of touch on the fact that you are going to have that transition from high school to college, just to know that you won't be alone. You have a whole group of people that we call a success team at Xavier. So as a freshman, you'll have an academic advisor to help you plan your schedule. You'll have a financial aid counselor to answer any money questions. And then you'll also have a success coach. So somebody to help you over those bumps in the road that naturally occur as a freshman. This is obligatory, certainly. I think it's kind of a sad end to this year's season, but COVID will do that to you. Our stadium is right on campus. So we've been to the big tournament a lot in the last 20 years, and that's something we're excited about. The seat's about 10,000. So certainly on game day, it's loud, it's crazy, it's amazing. But the best part of it is student tickets are free. So if that's enough to get you excited about Xavier, by all means, come and see us in Cincinnati. We are open for visitors, and best of all, we'll be fully open in the fall for classroom experiences. So come and see us.
Thank you very much. And I'll remind all of our attendees, as we've had some people come in after we've started here, if you have questions, use the Q&A at any time to ask questions of any of our presenters. If it's for a specific school, just make sure to name the school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from Illinois Wesleyan University.
All right, let me just share my screen here. Okay, so my name is Clara. I'm an admissions representative from Illinois Wesleyan. My coworker Olivia actually is manning the chat, so please feel free to send in any questions that might pop up. But let's get started here. All right, so who are we? Illinois Wesleyan is a small private liberal arts school. We have a really great advantage of being in the Bloomington-Normal area, which, if you're not familiar with, is also the home of Illinois State. So we have our small classes, more intimate college campus experience, but then off campus, you have that big college town feel, always a lot going on, but again, still having that benefit of, knowing your professors, having those kind of discussion-based conversations in class. And also not having to wake up too early to get to class. That was always my favorite part. I could wake up 5 minutes before and still get there. So just a personal favorite there. Here's just some pictures of what you will see kind of on our campus. This is definitely the style for pretty much all of our courses. We really don't have any sort of lecture halls. Class sizes are around 16 usually. And as you'll see, you know, there's a lot of chances to interact with professors, do group work. Sometimes on a nice day, you get to have class out on the quad, which is always fun. So yeah, great, depending on how you learn, just to be able to throw your ideas out there, have some conversations, and work closely with other students. But as I mentioned, we're in Bloomington Normal, so 2 smaller kind of cities out in central Illinois. There in that bottom picture is the train station, and there's actually a bus station as well, so a lot of easy transit up to the city, whether you're from the Chicago, you know, area, which all of you are, and want to get back home and don't have a car or just don't feel like making the drive. Or if you're just like, hey, I want to go downtown for the day, kind of a nice, easy way to get back and forth. But there's also, like I said, plenty going on, lots of live music. Actually named one of the best cities in the country for live music. So if that's something you're interested in, there's always different like street fairs and other events. And again, different types of sporting events. There's big games next door at Illinois State. And then we also have our own kind of smaller, more fun, if you ask me, games and things to attend on campus, which I'll get into in a little bit. But here you can see we have a couple designations within our university. So we're made up of our School of Nursing. We also have our College of Fine Arts, which has any of those performance degrees. And then everybody else falls under that College of Liberal Arts category. So whether it's, you know, those natural social sciences, humanities, you know, business, all those other majors are going to kind of fall into that category there. But still, the nice thing is with a lot of courses and different requirements, you kind of get to branch out and take classes with people. Whether, you know, your best friend is a nurse and you're a performer, you'll still have a chance to interact in classes and on campus. All right, so we have a pretty distinctive calendar. It's nice. You'll start in the end of August typically, and then you'll take 4 classes from that August up until kind of early to mid-December, take your finals, head home for the winter break, come back ready to go in January, early to mid-January, go up until April with 4 more classes as your full-time schedule. And then at the end of April, you can either opt to pack up and go home, or you can stay and take advantage of our May term experience, which is really just a 1-month kind of hybrid opportunity. You can take a class on campus if there's a course you just, you know, don't want to take with your regular course load during the school year. If you want to stay just because the weather's nice and hang out with some friends, people actually enjoy being at college, so it's kind of fun to hang around. And there's also different chances for research, you know, internships, and even kind of mini study abroad experiences, which is great. So going into that with study abroad, about 41% of our students do study abroad. So if it's something that you're interested in, great. If not, you're not in a minority there, which is awesome. We do have financial aid, like tuition exchange with most of the programs that we work with. So the nice thing is your scholarships will transfer over in most cases, and we have advisors that'll work with you before you go over as well. Like I said, if you're interested in study abroad but don't want to fully commit, that May term experience is an awesome way to just say, okay, I'm going to go take this art and architecture class in Greece and just spend a couple weeks abroad with some friends. But if you're looking for that kind of full-on experience, we have 2 Illinois Wesleyan programs run by Wesleyan faculty with other Wesleyan students. Those go to London and Spain. And then we have 700 different other partnerships that you can find on like our database as a student. If you're just like, you know what, I really want to go to Morocco, we'll make that happen. We'll figure out how to get you where you want to be and still meet all your requirements to graduate on time. Just some kind of brief things about our campus life. Lots and lots of student organizations. If there isn't something you're interested in, you can start an organization. There's presence of Greek life, but definitely not an overwhelming need to join. Just another way to kind of meet more people, get engaged. And then on top of that, just lots of different types of events. With athletics, we are Division III, very competitive Division III. I was a former athlete at Wesleyan. It's always fun to kind of go out and support people that you're friends with playing. And again, whether you're playing or watching, it's super competitive. So it's just fun for spectators and those that are participating. And then here you can just kind of see a brief overview of the support system that you would have at Illinois Wesleyan. One of the ones that I actually utilized the most was definitely the Writing Center. So any paper that you're writing, you can bring it into the Writing Center and meet with a student who specializes in, you know, maybe that area and also then in writing. And they'll help you, they'll go through that paper with you, help you get it ready to submit, make sure that you're at the top of your game there, and really miss that honestly now. And then just, again, so many other different parts, campus safety, counseling, Office of Diversity and Inclusion, so many different options for there, depending on where you need any support. I was happy to help you there. And then just some brief overviews on our success. You can look us up on College Scorecard if you're comparing different universities, but the one that I always mention that's at the top there, 92% of our graduates complete their degree in 4 years. And 97 have a job or in a graduate program within that 6 months after graduation. And then again, just that 91% of students are coming back for their second year after their first year on campus. So, students like where they are and they want to come back for more. But that is the end of my time here. Thank you all for listening and hope to see you on campus sometime soon.
Thank you very much. And once again, I'll remind our attendees, any questions, use the Q&A button. You can do that at any time. Also, pay attention to the chat. You can see the contact info and other information that our presenters are sharing with you. Up next, let's hear from the representative from St. Ambrose University.
Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't get my microphone to unmute. Hi guys, my name is Molly Kramer. I am a senior admissions counselor here at St. Ambrose University. We're a private Catholic liberal arts university located in Davenport, Iowa, which is a part of the Quad Cities area, and it's about 3 hours away from Chicago. It's just on the other side of the Mississippi River. So if you're looking to go out of state and you don't want to actually go too far out of state, come over to St. Ambrose. We are literally on the border of Iowa and Illinois. Our approximate about 3,000 students take advantage of over 60 undergraduate academic programs. They range from the arts to engineering to health sciences, as well as 14 master's programs and 3 doctoral programs, including physical therapy and occupational therapy. Some of our most popular majors and areas of studies are going to be nursing, engineering, forensic psychology, business, and education. Our students experience average class sizes of about 20 or so, and our actual largest classroom on campus only holds 45 students. So we definitely like to keep things nice and small, so our students are getting personalized attention right from the beginning. Professors are invested in each and every one of their students, meaning that they truly want to help you be successful, whether that would be during that class you're taking with them, connecting you with internships, or simply, writing letters of recommendation for jobs or grad school opportunities. And in addition to help from our professors, we actually also offer a wide variety of free services for students to help in that classroom. These will include our Student Success Center. They offer free peer tutoring services with all 100 and 200 level classes. They also help with writing assistance. So if you have a class that you need to write a really long research paper for, and you just want somebody to take a look at it, the Student Success Center helps out with that. Now, if you need a little bit more accommodations, our Accessibility Resource Center on campus aids students that require both physical and learning accommodations for the classroom. So if you have an IEP 504 in high school, our Accessibility Resource Center is phenomenal in helping students make sure that they're able to do everything they need to in college. And finally, our Career Center assists with not only on-campus employment, but they also do resume creation, career fairs, interview skills, and lots of alumni connections. Employers definitely know about St. Ambrose because of where we're located in the Quad Cities area, with it being about 350,000 people just in our area. But since we are so close to the Chicagoland as well, alumni know about St. Ambrose and definitely want our students to come and do internships and jobs after graduation with them. Now, these resources are just a few of my favorite things about St. Ambrose, but another favorite thing of mine is our campus environment and community in general. So of our about 2,300 undergraduate students, 69% of them actually live on campus all 4 years. Now, why is this so important and so big for a school our size? It's because it creates this campus environment that is so fun and lively. You're with your friends, not just for that first year on campus, but throughout your whole time in college. You're super close to all of the academic buildings on campus, making it really easy to roll out of bed and get to class on time. But it also makes it easy to take advantage of more activities, whether it be events happening on campus such as sporting or campus-led fundraisers, things like that, but also students then can take part of clubs and organizations a lot easier. Now, SAU has over 95 clubs and organizations on campus, and they are all student-driven, meaning that if you don't, see a club or organization that we have on campus that you're passionate about, you can most certainly start one. Clubs and organization themes include academic, cultural, service-based, and another great way to be involved is through campus ministry. Obviously, you all are attending Catholic school now. St. Ambrose is a Catholic university, but we are welcoming of all faiths, and students can take part in our many different activities through campus ministry, such as retreats, service learning trips, and really find ways to not only grow in their faith, but give back to the surrounding areas and community as well. Now, additional things, obviously athletics are also available for our students to take advantage of, and we actually have approximately 800 student athletes on campus that are members of our 31 varsity teams. And so we are in the NAIA and comparable to about a Division II or Division III, depending on the sport for competition level. But what that means for you guys is that we are able to offer those athletic scholarships to student athletes. So we're going to reward you for all of that hard work you've put in so far. But we also offer on the other side, fine arts opportunities too. We have programs in music, art, and theater. And so students are able to continue their passions for the arts, whether they choose to actually major in it or not. The majority of our music programs, you just need to be an ensemble and you still can have opportunities for scholarships. Most of these scholarships are available by doing an audition or simply a portfolio review. Additional scholarships for students include academic scholarships ranging from $13,000 all the way to full tuition that are annual scholarships renewable all 4 years, and they're given to admitted students based on their GPA and their test score if available. But we are test optional and we will not require a test score, and additionally alumni and diversity scholarships are also available based on your SAU application. Now, our application is online, it's free. It takes about 10 minutes because we only require your basic information, no letters of recommendation, essays, personal statements, things like that. And students with a 2.5 unweighted GPA on a 4.0 scale are admitted to St. Ambrose. It's pretty simple. We like to take all of the work out of it for you guys as students to make your college search as simple as possible. We are currently offering individual in-person campus visits along with virtual visit opportunities for all students' comfort levels. I would really love to chat more in depth with you about St. Ambrose during one of these opportunities, as I am campus-based, so when you come and visit, I will be that person that will chat with you. And I'm so happy to share that we will be full functioning on campus for fall of 2021. So super excited to get everybody here and back to some normalcy. I'm super excited to assist you guys with your college search, and please let me know what questions you have. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. And I'll remind everyone, you can ask questions of any of our representatives just by using the Q&A button. If it's for a specific school, just make sure to name the school in your question. Up next, let's hear from the representative from Santa Clara University.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Kendall Wolbrin, and I'm an Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission at Santa Clara University in Santa Clara, California. So I definitely feel like an odd one out here today, and we are not located in the Midwest. So if you are looking to go out of state and far away from home, Santa Clara might just be a great option for you. So as you can see, we are located in a pretty beautiful area. I really love the Bay Area in California. We are in Northern California. We get about 300 days of sun a year, and it's usually about 72 and sunny. I personally grew up in Illinois in the Midwest, and I do not miss the winters back home. So it's a pretty incredible place to be. I'm going to hit on a few things that I think really make Santa Clara a unique place to be and really enhance the experience that we have. So the first one is our location. We are located in the heart of the Silicon Valley in the San Francisco Bay Area. About 55% of our students do come from the state of California, but it is one of the largest states in the country. Some of those students are coming from 8+ hours away. So all of our students are definitely not local. The other 45 represent just about every state in the country and many countries around the world. Illinois is actually our 3rd largest represented state on campus, so we do get many students from the Chicago area. I would say that our location, though, offers our students a lot of professional benefits as well. About 80% of our students will take on an internship by the time they graduate, and many will stay out here in the Silicon Valley to work after graduation. Our top 3 employers of all students are Apple, Google, and Cisco. So if you're looking to work at some of these big name tech companies, this is definitely a great place to be. But if you're not interested in technology, there are plenty of other opportunities in the Bay Area for people with various professional interests. It is pretty easy for our students to get back and forth. The San Jose airport is just about 10 minutes away from campus, and there are direct flights into Chicago, so very easy for you to get back and forth to go home. We're also just about an hour south of San Francisco, and there's a train right across the street from campus that'll take you directly into the city, so our students love to do that on the weekends. And then the Santa Cruz Beach is just about 40 minutes south of campus, so if you want to go to the ocean, go sit on the beach on the weekend. Our students love to learn to surf as well. That's really fun. And then Lake Tahoe and Yosemite are each only about a 4-hour drive away. So if you want to go learn to ski, go hike in the mountains, those are also popular destinations. We do have a lot of diversity on our campus. As I mentioned, geographic diversity is big, but racial and ethnic diversity as well. About 52% of our students identify as students of color. The Bay Area is one of the most diverse places in the country and probably in the world as well. So we are very accepting of all perspectives and identities on our campus. We are also a Jesuit university, so all about educating the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, and really making sure that our students are cared for as individuals on our campus and that they really have a top-notch experience when they come to Santa Clara. So our core curriculum really integrates those values into the things that you'll study in the classroom as well. So things like ethics, diversity, civic engagement. And one of my favorite core requirements is our experiential learning for social justice course. So social justice is a big piece of the Jesuit mission and our students' experience at Santa Clara. It's really about how you can use your passions and what you're learning in the classroom to go out and serve the world and make it a better place. You'll see that about 50% of our students identify as Catholic or Christian. We are a Catholic university, but you definitely don't need to be Catholic to come to Santa Clara. The other 50% of our students represent just about every other faith tradition or no faith background at all. All are welcomed. We do offer Mass every day in our mission church on campus, but you are never required to attend. I will say the Sunday Mass, especially before finals week at night, is very popular for all students, no matter faith background, as you prepare for those final exams. But the only religious requirement that our students have is to take 3 religion courses as part of our core curriculum. But you do not have to study Catholicism. Some of our most popular courses are things like the theology of marriage, theology of death, theology of relationships. And so these are really interesting courses to look at one topic from many religious perspectives and see how different people, what views they hold on these issues. Our educational experience is also a key part of the Santa Clara experience. We are a mid-sized institution. We have about 5,500 undergraduate students with an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of just about 23 students. So you are really going to get that personalized academic experience at Santa Clara where you get to know your professors well, build relationships with them that last beyond your time in the classroom together, and also get to know your peers well too. So it's always nice to walk into that classroom and see a familiar face, but also have the opportunity to meet new people. And so I think our students really appreciate that about their classroom experience at Santa Clara. We also have what we like to call a great return on investment. We understand college is expensive, especially at a private Catholic school in one of the most expensive parts of the country. So we want to make sure that you're getting value in this experience. So I think our retention rate at 95% is one of the highest in the country and really speaks to that. But our students are also getting in and out with that degree in 4 years. Quickly, I'll just speak to the application process. We do have the College of Arts and Sciences, the Levy School of Business, and the School of Engineering. You do need to apply directly to one of the 3 schools on the application, but you do not need to declare a major. And then we are on the Common App. It's the only application we use, so it makes it pretty simple for our students. I will share a little bit of information in the chat afterwards about visits. You can do self-guided tours on campus right now if you're coming to campus, but we also have plenty of virtual opportunities as well. So I'd love to chat more about that later.
Thank you very much. And questions for any of our representatives, just use the Q&A button. I mentioned that before. I'll mention it again. And if it's for a specific school, just name the school in your question. Up next, the representative from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Thank you, Russ. All right. Thank you all so much for being here today. I have gone ahead and dropped a few helpful links into the chat, so hopefully that would provide some more information as we go through this presentation. So again, thanks for being here. My name is Emily, and I am an admissions counselor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I know today we only have 6 minutes to talk a little bit more about the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So I think the things I'm most excited to share with you have to do with what makes our university stand out, starting with our community. So we are a large public research institution with over 30,000 undergraduate students from all 50 states and over 100 countries. And while this might seem like an overwhelming number of people, it actually represents a really, really good chance that you're going to meet people who share the same values and interests. And so because we have such a large community, it means there are so many opportunities for you to really find your niche, to find your people, and to feel that sense of belonging, which we know is important to student success. So in the classroom, maybe you join a first-year interest group, which is a set of 3 courses that you take with the same set of students and really get to learn from one another as you go throughout your first-year education. Or outside of the classroom, you join one or more of our over 1,000 student organizations, which range in interests and topic. For more information about some of those student organizations, you can check out the Wisconsin Involvement Network. So regardless of how you choose to get involved, just remember there are so many chances for you to do it, and there are so many opportunities for you to make your time at UW-Madison memorable and meaningful. Speaking of meaningful work, that's something else that really stands out about UW-Madison. That is the Wisconsin idea. So the Wisconsin idea states that what a student learns in the classroom should be used to help solve their community's most pressing problems. And so their community could be their hometown, their state, their country, or even the world. But the bottom line is a student from UW-Madison will take the academic knowledge they gained and use it to help serve their community. And so we take this Wisconsin idea very seriously in everything we do on campus. It shows up in how we teach, in how we conduct research, and especially how we approach service. You'll notice that UW-Madison is the #1 producer of Peace Corps volunteers, and that's for good reason. We know we are a part of so many communities, and we also know we have a responsibility to give back to those communities. Now, the main part of the Wisconsin idea said that academic knowledge should be used to help serve communities. What would that academic knowledge look like? At UW-Madison, your opportunities are limitless. We have 125 undergraduate majors and over 70 undergraduate certificate programs located across the 8 schools and colleges you see on your screen. Quick note about certificates. A certificate is like a minor, but it's more of a concentration that allows you to take courses in different subjects and connect it back to that one topic. A really great example of this is many of our nursing majors choose to get a certificate in global health. So they can take courses in things like population health sciences, nutritional sciences, and even civil engineering. And they connect all of those courses back to the study of global health, really getting to use those critical thinking skills, which are so attractive to future employers and graduate schools. So those are the 3 things that really stand out about UW-Madison. If you are interested in the application process, we can go ahead and talk about that now. Starting with what we do in the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. How do we look at all the materials you send to us? In a word, holistically. We do consider all aspects of your application, including the context of what is offered at your high school. So we do receive more applications from talented students than we have space in our classes. So we do take a slightly closer look at a few things. First, we check your academic profile. Our most competitive students were able to successfully challenge themselves and take rigorous courses depending on what's offered at Fenwick and Trinity. The other thing we take a look at is your engagement outside of the classroom, your involvement in things that you are passionate about or commitments you've made. And by looking at this involvement, that's how we understand you beyond just courses and grades. And that's how we get to understand you as an applicant. Keep in mind, because we use a holistic review process, there's no minimum GPA, there's no minimum test score, and no magic formula for determining who gets admitted to UW-Madison. All right, so that's what we do in the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. This is what we need from you for a complete essay. All of this information is available on our website, but I do want to talk about test scores. So sending in your ACT or SAT is completely optional through the spring of 2023. If you want to send in your scores, that's great. If you do not want to send in your scores, that's great too. It's not an advantage or disadvantage either way. That being said, we do ask you to make a decision at the time of the application whether you want to send in your scores. So if you say you're going to send them in, we do expect to see them by either November 1st, our early action deadline, or February 1st, our regular decision deadline. The final thing we like to talk about when it comes to the application process is financing your education. The best way to understand your cost of attendance at UW-Madison is to check out the Office of Student Financial Aid website. There are a couple of ways to offset this cost. Financial aid is primarily determined by the FAFSA, or you can apply for scholarships using the Wisconsin Scholarship Hub. Man, 6 minutes goes by quickly, but if you want more information from us, we are always happy to communicate with you, and I hope to see some future applications from you here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to invite all of our representatives to turn their cameras and microphones back on. We'll do a quick Q&A in the remaining close to 4 minutes we have left in this session, and allow to catch up on the Q&A in the Q&A box as well. But we'll have you answer in the same order that you presented. So we'll start with the University of Cincinnati. And the question we have is simply, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process right now?
Try to have fun with this process. I know there's so many reasons to feel overwhelmed by it, but this is exciting and this is a fun opportunity to get to explore and engage. And I know that you may be kind of over the internet right now and being on camera for things, but there's so much information available to you now that wasn't a year or 2 years ago to be able to start your search. And it's looking like you're going to be able to see all these places in person too as a part of this. So try to enjoy the process as much as you can.
My piece
Xavier
of advice,
University.
oh
Go ahead.
gosh, I knew I was ready, Russ. My piece of advice for all of you is to set up an email that is specifically for the college search selection application process. Just think of it as like, here's the box where all of the things that are about college go, and that way you won't miss deadlines, you won't miss notifications. And certainly if you set it up so that your folks have access to it as well, they can check email to their heart's content and make sure you're not missing any deadlines too.
Illinois Wesleyan.
So my best piece of advice would just be to get out there and visit campuses, connect with students or alumni or people that are, at the institution currently related to it, ask any questions that you have. I think that, visiting campus, and if you can imagine yourself there, when all the kind of fun, exciting stuff is set aside, and if that's where you feel like you see yourself fitting, trust that feeling, because I think that's usually the best way to go with it.
St. Ambrose University.
I love all the advice that's been shared so far. I know Clara from Illinois Wesleyan kind of just touched on this, but there are no wrong questions in the college search process. If there's anything that you are curious about, need more information on, clarity that you're looking at the website and you're just not quite sure, how to fully interpret it, or you just want more, we are your people, and we are your people and your lifelines to the universities. Never hesitate to reach out, because any sort of clarity is just going to help you guys as students through your college search process. So anything that we can do to help you, just ask the questions. And if you're not sure what questions to ask that. What questions do I need to be asking as I start my college search process? We are always happy to help kind of direct you as what is the next steps and what things you should be doing.
Santa Clara University.
I'd say one of the most important things to me is finding the right fit. I think with the 6 of us here today, these are very different institutions. So determining what your non-negotiables are and advise for you. What kind of environment do you want to be in? An urban setting, a suburban setting, rural? Find those things that are going to determine what schools you can look at and really help you narrow down that list, and then find schools that really offer what you're looking for, and that will help you kind of figure out where to move forward.
And last but not least, University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Very inspiring from all of us. So I would say don't feel pressure to have it all figured out right now, because probably not going to happen. The best advice I heard during my own college search process was that the word undecided actually meant multi-interested, and that I would have plenty of chances to figure out where my strengths and interests lay once I got to campus. So keep that in mind, keep exploring what you are interested in, because you will figure it out as you move through the process.
Well, thank you all for that great advice. I also want to thank you all for presenting today during the session, and I want to thank everyone for joining us as attendees during this session. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, there are more sessions coming up here in about 15 minutes. Be sure to sign up if you haven't done so already at the same place you signed up for this one. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/FriarBlazers. One more time, I want to thank each of our representatives for joining us and for participating in this session, and thank you all for attending. Have a great rest of your Friday.